Hello, hello, hello. We are very energetic today. In Pasta Vergola. As you can see, I did some scent detection today, but I'm still quite energetic today. In a Pup In The Life. This is Vergola, and you're listening to us. So, in today's episode, which is rainy, so I don't know how long it's gonna last, this walk, we are talking about something that came up for mom and for me after, just trying to fix my mic. Came up, came up lately, and it regards the sacrifices that one is willing to make to succeed, whatever success is in your arena, and how the people in your life are fundamental to get to that level of achievement, whatever your achievement will be. That is not, of course, the classical one. It's your own idea. So you hear a lot people talking a big game about success, about being successful in general, which is a concept that needs to be rethought of. And probably our next episode is going to be around what success really means. But for us, and how we think about freedom, which is another concept. But this is for another day, and probably it's going to be tomorrow, because I got the idea right now. And for today, I'd like to focus on the sheer understanding of how your environment plays out in the achievement of your goals. And this comes from a reasoning where mom, and with me, has lived an experience lately that basically, actually a couple of days ago, brought her a bit back in the years. And now, just FYI, I don't mean to say this is wrong. I don't mean to razz and give, mom punishment for anything. It's just, it plays a role. And it's a good way for us to start talking about these things that ultimately become a factor. So one wrong thing that you see a lot on social media is people partying quite a lot and deeming themselves as successful. Now, it might be true that these people have worked their asses off, accepted, they inherited the freedom of just doing whatever they want. But given that they probably gained it, because that's, for the sake of what we're looking at, this is what we need to talk about. It's impossible that they gained it, except if they work in the night services industry. It's like they own discotheques or they throw parties or whatever. That they have such a fun life. They have such a fun life, and they got it. It's basically impossible. Now, I don't mean to say that you shall not have fun, that you shall not live your life the way you want to live it, but I mean to say that your actions must match your ambitions. And you hear many of the people that we probably all have heard. I just want to name Gary Vee and Alex Hormozi, that you can either like or not, but they say the same thing. And you see athletes over and over telling the same shit yet again. That, again, it's all about the sacrifices that you make. Oh, it's all barking today. It's about the sacrifices that you make and the result of those sacrifices. And about this is, let's go to the part of the episode that inspired us. So mom basically accepted to go out with some people and with family. So it was not something totally random, totally different. Had an aperitivo, she with actually another group of friends. Then went to dinner, and then after dinner, she was basically already sleeping. But they went and they have drinks, and by drinks I mean one drink. Now you might ask yourself, "Oh my God, like they just so be flexible." Yes, we're gonna be flexible, but this all happened, and just to be clear, mom and I, because I was there too, basically got back home at around 11:30, basically a bit before midnight. And so you might ask yourself, what's all this deal about? And the deal is about the fact that the day after, basically spent it, not all, but like a good bit, to just recover from the day before. It was not a proper hangover. It was not a lack of sleep. It was just the shift of priorities that had happened, and that shifted the biological rhythm of the body, who, by the way, doesn't know if it's the weekend or the week, that has led us to just be needing of some more further rest. Now, is this a problem? No. I mean, it can happen. And mom just got that simple taste in the end of that whiskey drink, which, by the way, was very good. It was rye whiskey. She would have preferred a Scotch whiskey, especially right now where she doesn't drink so much anymore. And, you know, the drinks need to be, need to be thought of very well, because it's not so much, unfortunately. Also, no cocktail bar where she lives and where we live up until this point in time. So the thing about it is that mom has had just this eureka moment where she knew it wasn't the other side, and she got to taste it, one sip after the other, one chat after the other, one path after the other during that night. And now, is it the voice of shame? It's not the voice of shame, because of course sometimes you need to be letting go of these things, like permitting people to do this with you. But at the same token, this cannot be the norm, because it cannot be the norm just to chill and not be the best version of you if you actually are asking from you the best version of you. And frankly, I don't mean to say that's one thing is wrong or right. I think it's just a choice of satisfaction, of satisfaction now or satisfaction later. And I think most people choose the first, even though they want the last. And it's hard because, mom can still remember living in London and just not going out to parties so much like her friends. Not going actually to the party of the graduation because she felt like shit. And she had to work on that one single startup. And even before the startup, she just knew she was better off going to the gym on that Saturday morning. And you might deem it as very boring or very committed. It's all up to what you feel is the frame through which you see reality, your own reality, which, by the way, is different than all other realities. I'm just claiming that if you happen to be one of those people in a reality in which you need to be successful and you want to have your desires, your dreams, your objectives, whatever they are, like reached, and they are big, because all of our dreams are big, because they wouldn't be dreams otherwise. You would call them tasks. You would call them activities. You wouldn't call them maybe objectives, but you wouldn't call them dreams. And so, unfortunately, this is a zero-sum game. So, from one thing that you take in, another one needs to be taken out. Even though we like more is more as mom holding company name. Um, it's that. And so through seeing reality like this, just one single night can not like fuck up everything, but can tell you, and then it can pinpoint you to the right thing to do, which is not that night out. And so to end things on this podcast, I just want to say, to do all of this, either you are alone or you have a support network that really is a support network. It's not people around you that root for you, or maybe don't even root for you in the end, because they then realize that you made it, and so they don't like you anymore because of that. And you naturally are gonna elevate yourself from most people if they don't think like that. And so at the bottom of everything is getting to understand that you need, probably, and Warren Buffett says it's the single most important decision in life, you need a partner that understands. And you need to come to terms with the fact that even your friends or anybody as close to you will need to understand that your discipline will mean something in the future, and the delay of satisfaction that you're taking. And whether they're going to see it or not, whether they realize it or not, it's not that it's not painful, it's that you have made the choice. And so in the bottomness of that whiskey, at the very end of the night, just came home with the same feeling, same level of greatness for, not completely, but starting to have built in the years a foundation that took away many other stimuli and put in good stimuli that keep getting better and better and better. And it's been a work of probably 10 years from now, which is like a huge amount of time, you think about it. And if we look back at this 10 years, do we think we're better? Yeah, we probably are. And Mom has gotten better and better, also because of me. And I know. It's just, I know. And I know that I played a big part of that. But nevertheless, this is just to say that you need to pick on which side you're at. And you need to understand, what are you willing to give up? Even if it's one single shot of whiskey, even if it's one single night out. You need to be willing. And if you're not, it's fine. We all are different people. Just don't tell yourself another story, because then you would be disillusioned that it's going to be even worse. So this is probably all from our angle from today's podcast. And yeah, we're probably going to talk about success tomorrow in this very long series of podcasts that we're having lately. And I hope we shared something that was meaningful. And I hope we inspired into you some action, some truth, some sincerity and honesty in what you are and what you want to be. It's been 10 years, so it's probably going to be way more. Do we have all that we want? Of course not. Probably not even a 10%. But the path is the right one. So, for now, I'll leave you to that. Seeing a friend, actually, now. I'm sending you lots of kisses, hugs, some giving ups, and a bit of barks.